Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my Project Pan update for the month of March, and I am so excited about it because I have 3 rollouts, and I think that's more than I thought that there was going to be. And I also think that I'm excited because I know how long-term most of the products are in my collection. So there's that. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna, a lover of all things high and colorful beauty and self-care. Ultimately, this is my self-care. I enjoy coming to you, talking to you about the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things coming into my collection, out of my collection, and I hope that you're here for it. And if you are, I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. With that said, let's roll into this Project Pan update for the month of March and talk about all the exciting things. Okie doke. Project Pan is the completionist project that I have going on in my collection. I update it every single month and come to you and talk to you about all the products that I rolled in and the products that I'm rolling out, roll in new ones if I have new ones to roll in because I've finished ones in my collection. And like I said, it is the only completionist project I have going on in my channel, which means the goal is to complete every single product that is in this Project Pan to entirety. So I don't really talk about goals as far as usage or whatnot goes because the goal is to finish the product. I always have 10 products rolling in it. So I do try and give myself, not too many same product type because I want not to be focusing in on too many of the same thing at the same time because that's just overwhelming. Right now I do have 10 products in this project. Last month I was able to roll out 2. I rolled in 2 new ones, and of the 2 new ones that I rolled in, I will be rolling 1 out. I am so excited because there are actually 3 rollouts today, so we're so excited about that. So let's just start, and I usually start from earliest rolled in to most recent rolled in, so I'll have pictures and all the things. I should scooch so that I can put my pictures up here for you. So the first item I have in here is the Dior Face and Body Foundation, and I do have the shade 3N. This product was rolled into my project in January at 37.7 grams of product. That said, it was in my Project Pan last year as well, and I didn't get it finished. So there's a ton of markings on the back. I was able to put a new marking on this bottle, but as you can see, I mean, it is so minute, the spacing between one line and the next, that I might as well not have marked it again. I used this 4 times since the last update to this, and I mean, I really don't think that you can tell that I used it 4 times. I have said this before, I do think that once this gets down to a certain place, it's gonna go quickly, but it is really rather girthy around here, and I do think that's relatively thin. You can squeeze it. I think that it is really full. There's 1.6 ounces of product in this bottle, so there's a ton of product in this bottle. It is one of the oldest foundations in my collection, but it is also one that I love using. So today I did a get ready with me for this look that will be coming. I did a look on this. This is what I'm wearing today. I have been mixing it with this, which is the Origins Ginseng SPF 40 tinted moisturizer, because this is relatively orange and not enough in terms of coverage for me. I do like a tinted moisturizer feel, but I also like there to be just a slight bit more coverage, right? I like a medium at most, but I do like a light to medium coverage, and this is just kind of barely there. So I have been mixing the two because I feel like this is also really light coverage, but between the two of them, they balance out, and this one is orange and this one is neutral, so it balances the orange out of this one as well. So I have been mixing those two together to get some more use out of this, and I really like it, and that way it is what is on my skin today, and I really quite like it. I think my skin looks wonderful today. I always think that when I'm wearing this though. So this did come in at 37.7 grams of product. Last month it weighed 37.24 grams of product, and this month it is weighing 36.38 grams of product. So a little bit at a time. We are moving right along, but I do think that this will be a product that is in my collection throughout the remainder of the year. Like, it was in all year long last year, and I was only able to get from here to, I think, here. If I am able to do the same amount of damage this year to this product that I did last year, I might finish it by the end of the year. That is the goal, and I'm hoping that that is what happens, but it's still going strong, still going strong. All right, the next one in my collection is another foundation. It is the Natasha Denona Foundation X Plus. This is honestly my favorite foundation. I love this foundation so much. Every single time I wear it, my skin just looks so beautiful. I always get compliments on my skin when I'm wearing this. It is kind of a medium coverage foundation. I think it says full coverage, but I really think it's more of a medium, high medium coverage foundation. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful foundation. It's a glass jar. It is just, everything about it is beautiful. I do have mine in the shade 40N, and I just tipped it, so you're not going to be able to see, well, you can still see kind of some of the windowing over here. So that is the new line. I didn't use it very much this last month. I think probably 4 times as well in this last month to lend to that new line marking. There is a slight bit more of a difference between line to line than there is in the Dior. I just think that this is more of a normal size foundation, right? There's only one ounce of foundation in this, so it automatically is going to go just a little bit faster than the Dior one. I do think that this will probably be done in my collection, I would say probably by August, maybe even June. I would say by August. I'm going to give myself a little, because a little dabble do you. You really don't need very much of either one of these foundations to make it beautiful on your face. So, and I'm not somebody who just uses 4 pumps of foundation just to get through a foundation. And like I said, this is one of my favorite foundations, probably my favorite foundation. So I'm not going to just waste it. I don't see it leaving my collection anytime soon, long story short. This has also been in here since January, but also was in my project last year. These are the lines from last year in addition to the new line marking this year. Last year, there were quite a few months that I wasn't able to make a new line marking on this. When I rolled it in this year in January, it rolled in at 121.96 grams. Last month it weighed 119.79 grams, and this month it weighs 117.17 grams. It's still like steadily about the same amount of product month over month. So this will hopefully leave my collection by August. That's when I'm anticipating it will leave. So both of those foundations are very long-term products in this project. The next product I have is actually my first empty for this project, and I can't, did you guys see that? It went flying. I couldn't get it out of here this morning when I was trying to get it out, but it is the Zoeva lip liner that I have, and I know that this is not empty. I know that there is still product in here, but I also know I can't sharpen it anymore. I can't get it in the sharpener and then out of the sharpener. The last time I sharpened it, it was really hard to get it out of the sharpener. I wore it for the last time yesterday, so 228. Came into this project on the 1st of January at 1.96 grams. Last month it weighed 1.85 grams, and this month empty, it weighs 1.47 grams. And I also have like my little, tracker dude that you'll see like how I wrote like where we were at to last month, and you can see the amount of usage from month to month. I will say this one did break in the sharpener when I sharpened it the one time that I sharpened it this last month. So there's quite a bit more usage this month than there was last month, but it's such a beautiful lip liner. Is in the shade Earthbound, and I really think that it is just a really nice, it reminds me kind of like a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk or a Natasha Denona Natasha, like really beautiful pinky nude colored lip liner. It's very creamy, but it doesn't like go all over your face, right? It doesn't, once it dries down, it's set there for life. I found that even when I was wearing, because I'm a lip liner gloss kind of person, even when I was wearing a gloss over the top of it, like when that gloss wore off, I could still see this lip liner in the places where I didn't like buff it out and blend it in. So like I might have a lip line around my lips without meaning to have a lip liner around my lips, but We're calling this empty because I cannot sharpen it anymore. And honestly, it's just a little tiny baby nub. And there has been a ton of usage on it since it was a full-size item when I brought it into my collection. It was about half size when I brought it into the project pan. So I'm really excited to have an empty in this project. And moving into the next product, which is the Laneige Lip Treatment Mask. So this is the Laneige Lip Treatment Mask. This is, unlike the lip sleeping mask, this is more of a treatment than it is like a hydrator or glossy thing. It has a nice little component that sticks into the lid, which I love so much more than I love the little paddle that comes with the sleepy masks. This is what it looks like currently. I am just, you know, using a little bit here and a little bit there. I did use it today after having weighed it, but that's okay. Most of these I weighed yesterday before I used most of them today. This guy rolled in January as well at 39.29 grams of product. Last month it weighed 39.07 grams of product, and this month it weighs 38.91 grams of product. It truly is just the tiniest bit of product that you need of this, and I use it every single day, at least once a day. When I come in here to do makeup, I use it. When I wake up in the morning and then come in here to do my skincare, I use it. Like, it is used at least once a day, but it's just not, there's not a ton of usage that happens every single day. So this will likely last the rest of the year in my collection. I'm just happy to be getting some use out of it, because if it wasn't in a project like this, I would forget about it. I have forgotten about it. So that's where we're at with that. Okay, the Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick in my Becca Eye Brightener container is the next product. It also rolled in January, and this is what it looks like currently. I'm not going to go into this story again, because for those of you who have been around, you're probably tired of hearing about it. But this Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick did come into this project in January at 44.96 grams of product. Last month it weighed 44.65 grams, and this month it weighs 44.22. Again, just a little bit at a time is how we're working on this. I have started using like this little Sonia G brush that I got in my Lucky Bag this last year. This is the mini base brush, and I have found that it is just really pretty perfect for getting in here, swirling around, and then getting where I want it to be as far as like a contour or bronze goes on my face. This is honestly one of my favorite cream contour products, but I would never repurchase it because of the component. I wish Makeup by Mario, the brand, would put their like sculpt sticks and their blush sticks into a different component, because those components just, they break so easily. I had to put this into 2 different containers, as you all know. I did empty the other one last year. I've been working on this one since early or mid-year last year. And this is where I'm at now. The blush stick that I had from him with the same component, I decluttered in my declutter because of the component, not because of the blush, but because of the component. So I just think that they're horrible components. I won't ever repurchase them, even though it's a really, really nice sculpt stick. So this one will likely last me throughout the rest of the year. I've been thinking about melting it back down, although I need to like reach out to my friend Andy or maybe Erin and be like, how do you melt this down? Because I don't know how to melt it down. But I also have like this sixth sense of I need to see the pan at the bottom of this before I do that. But also, like, why? Why do I need to see pan? Maybe I melt it all down and then it sits so much further down in the component that I realize how awesome I'm doing at this product. So there's that. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Adventures with Donna in makeup. We will see how we do. Maybe I'll just wing it and pretend I know what I'm doing. Next is the Ofra Blush Gaudette in Winter Rose. Y'all know this has been part of my project pan for what feels like many, many moons. It reminds me of Jessica from Jessiquita Banana, I think is her channel name. I can't remember what the brand is, but she has been panning a blush for like 3 years, it seems like, and I think it's been 2 actually, but it literally looks like the least amount of usage is happening on that blush, but I know that she uses it all the dang time because she actually tracks her usages. I don't. I do know that I wore makeup 13 times last month, I think. I think I wore this probably half of those times, and this is where we're at. You can see there's a bigger pan, right? In this, you can see that there is definitely a bigger pan. So that makes me happy. But this came in January as well at 6.40 grams. It weighed 6.39 grams of product last month, and this month it weighs 6.33. Blushes literally take 900 years to get through. You don't need 82 in your collection, which is what I have, but I had 100 and something before I did my declutter. So there's that. Anything more than 2 is absurd in my humble opinion. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So that is where we're at with that blush. That one will remain in likely for the rest of the year. As you guys can see, when I said I was so excited about 3 empties in this project, it is because all of the items that I have in this project are really long term. I really don't think anything that we've went over that I still have like ample amount of use to go on will see we will see leaving this project until the end of the year, if that. So, but the next one I'm going to talk about is another empty. So I rolled this one in January as well. It didn't have a whole lot of life left in it, and I rolled it in because I had just been gifted a bunch of gratis from one of my benefit rams, and I knew I had another one coming. So I rolled in my Precisely My Brow in the shade Cool Gray. I used the hell out of it, and I used the rest of it yesterday. There. And you can see there's nothing coming up. So I used the rest of it yesterday. I honestly didn't think I was going to have enough for both of my brows yesterday, but I had just enough for both of my brows yesterday. So this did roll in January at 7.21 grams of product. I think a lot of that is, you know, this component is pretty heavy on the one side. I mean, even with the cap on the top, it's pretty heavy. Last month it weighed 7.17 grams. This month empty, it weighs 7.16 grams. So you can see that the amount of usage that I had from last month to this month was not very much in terms of weight. And I'm glad to know that I didn't, because honestly, I thought, this isn't going to be gone at the end of February, but it sure was. And then when it was, I was like, did I overuse that? Did I use way too much? But if I'm honest with you, it's been a minute since I had them like waxed and tinted. So I have been using this an awful lot over the last month. So that's where we're at. And that is another empty, and I'm so excited about it. The next product I have in here is the Live Tinted 3-in-1 Hue Guard Primer. Really, really excited about this primer because it's not my favorite primer. And if you guys have been around, you know that. This rolled in January at 51.51 grams, and this is what it looks like currently. Last month it weighed 46.15 grams. This month it weighs 39.21 grams. I don't think that we're using an overabundance of it. I just am using it every single day. I use primer every day whether I'm wearing makeup or not. This is not my favorite, but I'm making sure that I get some use out of it because I want it gone and moving on to something that I love more in my collection. There's not very much of this left. I am happy that it's got an air pump on it so that I know I'm going to get, or mostly an air pump on it. I know that I'm going to get the entirety of the usage out of this product. And it's almost gone. I do see this probably leaving my collection by, well, when we look at like, this is what it was from January to February, and then from February to March, it's about the same amount of usage, right? So if I'm thinking through that lens, I see probably 3 more months of use. So maybe like June-ish, we'll see this gone, which will be good because in June, I want to start using some of my more hydrating and glowier foundation or primers because it'll be summer and I want to glow. The next two products I have are the two products that I rolled in last month. So the first one is this one, which is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. This one is the watermelon version, and it has hyaluronic acid, watermelon fruit extract, and it is, everything else about it is the same. I love the smell of this setting spray. I want to spray it on my face just to spray it on my face. It is sticky like the other setting spray, the other all-nighter setting spray is. It does make your makeup last longer like the other setting spray does. It is, you know, does have a little bit of alcohol content to it, but I do love that it has hyaluronic acid in it because it kind of counterbalances that alcohol presence in the setting spray. I really do like this. I'm sad that all I have is a mini, but I do think that this will probably be gone next month. Last month I rolled it in on the 1st of February at 55.44 grams of product. This month it weighs 30.33 grams of product. It is just a little mini, right? And minis you go through rather quickly, and probably a large amount of that weight is the component actually. I'm not alarmed at the fact that it seems like I went through so much of it, because 25 grams of product is a lot, but I don't overuse it either. I just, you know, spray, like, I don't know, probably 3, 4, 5 times in front of my face, get a fan, like fan it off. I'm not overusing the product or using it any more, I should say, than any other setting spray I would, but I do think that this will probably be gone next month, and that's exciting for me, but for now it will stay. The last thing I have that was also rolled in last month is the Too Faced Kissing Jelly Gloss in Cotton Candy. And you guys, this is bittersweet for me because I love this lip gloss so much, but I have so many lip glosses, so we're gonna call it good. I'm not gonna repurchase it anytime soon. I did take the stopper out. As you guys can see, I do have the stopper because I will be putting it back in. I learned my lesson taking stoppers out in the past and then not really putting the stoppers back in when you then set them, you know, in your empties bin to save for your empties. If you're like me and it is leaning just a certain way, any remnant of this is gonna leak out. I don't want it to leak out, so I just put that stopper back in there, but it still smells just so good. It smells divine. It feels divine. I do have 2 more of the kissing glosses in my collection, but this did roll in last month at 31.67 grams. And this month rolling out, it weighs 28.39 grams. So there was just a little tiny bit left in this component when we rolled it in. What is that? 3 grams of usage is what was used. And I did use it all through the month of February. I think my last usage tracked was on the 25th of February. So almost the entire month of February I got out of that little tiny amount of product that was in here. I did keep it down on my desk. I kept it in my purse. I kept it on my person so that when I was reapplying a gloss, it was this gloss I was reapplying. And it lasted a long time. I mean, truly in my collection, it did. I think I bought it in like September or October. So, and I was using it pretty regularly. So I'm really happy with having emptied this gloss, but also really sad because it was one of my favorite glosses this year. I think it was listed as one of my favorite purchases of last year. So with that said, I do have 3 new items to roll in, and I have already picked the items. I picked them off of my planned pan for 2025 because I want to be strategic and mindful about the things that I'm pulling in to this project. All right, so the first thing I am rolling in is to replace the Too Faced Kissing Jelly Lip Gloss. I am going to roll in my Zoeva Melody lip gloss in Radiant Flight. This is a really beautiful lip gloss. I am wearing it just kind of on the center of my lips today. I'll put it back on my lips because I can see I've been talking long enough that it's kind of wearing down. You can see it's just this beautiful, milky, pouty. Oh, it's so pretty. I've had this for years in my collection. I'm actually surprised that it still smells and feels and tastes fine on my lips, but this is where we're at right now. That is the line that I created before I dropped it. And I think that you can see there's a slight bit of windowing on the one side that didn't really get hit by me dropping it. This does weigh 16.36 grams rolling in. I don't think it'll take me long to get through this at all. This is a much skinnier tube than the Too Faced gloss was. there is a slight bit more product in it than the Too Faced gloss had, and this is a slight bit thicker than the Too Faced gloss was. But I love this gloss. It's one of my favorite glosses. Besides that Too Faced gloss, this has probably seen the most use in my gloss collection, and I don't think that it will have a long life in this project pan. I don't know that I will be done with it by the end of the month, but I do think it will be, you know, tops maybe 5 weeks, me getting through this. So if I do not have it finished by our April update, it won't be long after our April update that I will have this finished. So really excited to roll this in. And then to replace the lip liner, I am going to roll in my Natasha Denona Natasha lip liner from her My Dream collection. This is where we're at right now. I also have it on my little index card tracker. This is one of my favorite lip liners. Besides Charlotte Tilbury and now Makeup Forever, like Natasha, Charlotte Tilbury and Makeup Forever lip liners are my favorites in my collection. It just goes on beautifully. It blends in beautifully. It goes with just about anything I pair it with. So I really do love this lip liner. It is not what's on my lips today. Neither is the Zoeva one. I actually have a ColourPop one on my lips today for whatever reason. But this one does weigh in at 4.71 grams of product. I do think that this will probably last me through the end of July, maybe June, July, maybe even August. Lip liner, I mean, that Zoeva one was in here since January, but it was in my collection for years before that. And I do think that I had it in my project pan late last year as well. It takes a long time to get through a lip liner as well. Less than it does an eyeliner, but it does take a minute to get through a lip liner. That said, I do not just line my lips. I also put it all over my lips, so it doesn't take me as long as it might, like somebody who's just using it to line their lips to get through a lip liner. But I do think that this is probably, even though it's not very big, it's probably also long-term. We're looking at probably August before this leaves my collection. And then last but not least, I am rolling in the third product, which isn't an equal balance to the Benefit Precisely My Brow pencil. I do have brow pencils on my planned pan for 2025, but they are these two, and I don't like either one of these. I shouldn't keep them, but I do think that, you know, changes are probably coming in my hair color, and I might see some use out of these. The one I like the most is the next one because it is a little bit more neutral and brown leaning. This one is the ABH one, and I think it's just red. It's too red. It's too red for my brows, even though it's called soft brown. So I don't really 100% understand that. Anyways, long story short, these colors are the reason why I'm not rolling these in yet. They might get rolled in later on this year. They'll have to get rolled in later on this year. And I do want to start using them instead of opening up a whole new pencil for me to start using, because I do need to see those out of my collection, especially if I don't even want to use them, right? So long story short, oh my God, rant. I'm going on rants. I don't want to pull in another eyebrow pencil. So instead, I'm going to pull in a lipstick because I do have probably 5 lipsticks on my planned pan for the year, and I haven't even started trying to use one. So the one I did pull in is going to be the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. This is where we're at. You know, I have used it. I've used it pretty significantly. I did use it today. You can see there is quite a bit of it gone out of the component, but I still have a ton of it yet left, right? And I do have another one that I got in gratis in my collection. So I have a brand new one of these. So I do need to get this out of my collection, which is why I'm rolling it into my project pan. This one weighed in at 12.75 grams today, and I don't see it leaving my collection anytime soon. So we're probably looking at the end of September, if that, when this rolls out. I haven't set myself up very well for success in this project pan. I do have a goal of emptying. I think last year I emptied 70 makeup empties last year. My ultimate goal every year has been to get to 100 empties in makeup. I haven't hit that yet. Every year, the amount of products that I am able to empty in my project pan has dwindled. But I think it's because I'm using longer term products in my project pan versus when I first started, I had a lot that I could use up rather quickly. And also I didn't know what I was doing in terms of makeup and was just packing that shit on my face. So there's that. I might be lucky if I get through 20 items in my project pan this year, because a lot of what I'm rolling in is long term. I do think there's a chance that this could be gone next month. This will definitely be gone next month, but overall that would be likely it. So let me know what you guys think. If you're doing a project pan, let me know what kind of products you're putting into your project pan, and let me also know if you guys think that I am a glutton for punishment because I am putting all these long-term products into my project pan. So that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you are all safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you are all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life. And until next time, bye friends.